Hello everyone, my name is Pestolents, and today we are going to be reviewing the Massey Ferguson 3000 series mod. Now, whenever I lived on a farm, we didn't have four-wheel drive tractors as are here or called front wheel assist. But as you know, with traction engines, the more traction you can put to the ground, the better. That's why I have the four-wheel drive version and the two-wheel drive version sitting here. I also have the more powerful version of the base model tractor that you can use just for grunt work here, which is the Fiat 1300. Um, that being said, in early game, the 3090 Massey Ferguson, I think, is a better tractor. Whenever you get the four-wheel drive version, that is, it's a better tractor, even though it's not as powerful. It only comes in at 118 horsepower. Let's check that out real quick. You can find the 3090 once you download it from the uh, mod store in-game, all the way at the end here. And as you can see, the two-wheel drive version is $10,000 cheaper than the four-wheel drive, but after that, that's where the differences truly stop, because you go down here to where it says 3050, that's your base model tractor, it only has 88 horsepower. You hit back, so you go all the way to the biggest engine for another $8,500, and you get 115 horsepower. Now, in a game where, you know, grunt force is king, that's falls 35 horsepower short of the Fiat 1300. But I still think that this is a much more useful tractor early game, and a better tractor just to keep around for late game because of its qualities it has as a good light to medium tractor. And this is why. Over here I have the uh, appropriate, base game uh, uh, front end loaders that you could put on the uh, 3000 series Massey Fergusons. In fact, I have this one painted up in Massey Ferguson red, and this is painted in jet black, which will match the tractors quite well. I tried to find a silver version, but they were just off, so I let that one go. If you're looking to have just a basic pulling tractor, again, you go into your menu here, you select small tractors, you go all the way to the end and select the four-wheel drive Massey Ferguson. Give it the dual rear wheels, which will also make the rear end significantly heavier. I'm a huge fan of fenders personally, even though we never had them growing up. And then put the biggest engine you can in it, because here's the thing. Whenever you trick this tractor out with all the bells and whistles, let's see here. Let's also get the front end loader attachment and throw 1,100 kilograms of weight on the front bumper alone. It's still cheaper than the Fiat. That's the biggest plus. Early game, you're looking to save every dime you can. $58,650 for all the bells and whistles here. Let's back this up. Let's go look at the Fiat here. Now, Fiat doesn't have nearly the options, but we're just going to give it the one option it has, and that's to give it dual rear wheels, $61,500, and you do not get a front end loader option. It's only a pulling tractor at 150 horsepower. As I mean, if all you're looking for is a pulling tractor that does nothing else, this is your puppy. But I stick by my choice, which is the 3090. So we go back down here and make it a 3090. The real tractor came with 115 horsepower, inline six, diesel. It was a Perkins engine in it, and I'll tell you, it it does a good job. You work these tractors all day, and they come back thirsty for more. The 35-gallon fuel tank does go. You do go through that relatively quickly. I'm not gonna lie. But if you're doing a realism playthrough, you, you're gonna come home at noon for lunch, and before you go back out, you're gonna fill up your tractor. It's just that's just the way it is. Morning, fill up your tractor. Noon for lunch, you fill up your tractor, and then you work until the daylight's gone. And as long as you stick to that, you'll be doing fine for fuel consumption. Um, I grew up with a tractor much more like this one here, the two-wheel drive. Now that being said, you can pull everything with this Massey that you can with that Massey. You're just going to do it slower. So as long as if you're doing a realism playthrough, $10,000 is $10,000. You know, if you're managing your money the way you should, you know that's the long and the short of it. Let's get a good look at the dash here. The side dash, man, that looks exactly the way they go. There's the two in the center there. There's two hydraulic levers there in case you're pulling two different implements out back. There's the adjustment for your 3-point hitch, various electrical indicator lights, and controls for your 3-point hitch, and also controls for your hydraulics. Down below, you have your independent right and left brake pedals, your gear selectors, and of course, on the dash, you have your idiot lights. And as everybody knows, that these modders they really knock them out of the park a lot of the times. That being said, let's go back outside the cab and get a good look at it. One thing I did like about this cab design, you notice how the glass is all flat? Yeah, by not having curved glass, that saves money. That's something I'm a huge fan of. Now, if you hold down both right and left mouse buttons, you can open up the uh, service door here and get some airflow in there. But airflow doesn't go anywhere if you can't get it to flow through. So you can open up the rear glass. And I'll also speak from experience, the ability to open up that rear glass and basically kind of climb over the seat to see what is going on directly behind your tractor down there at those 3-point hitches is more handy than a lot of people give it credit for. And yes, you can worm yourself around in there like that. And I've driven tractors like this without a seatbelt on. That's probably not a great idea. But I'll tell you what, it really does keep it cool in there whenever you're basically riding around in a fishbowl. And of course, whenever you turn the corner at the end of the field and the wind is blowing with you, you can close them up and you don't have to choke to death on all the dust. Huge, huge benefit there. Looking up here at the overhead, one thing that we had in our tractors that I don't see depicted in here is up top there was a blower that you could circulate the air in there, and just having that fan, you could either suck the air from inside the cabin and circulate it that way, or you could also bring air in from outside, which honestly that was it used a small automotive engine air filter with all the farm dust. It clogged up quick, fast, and in a hurry. So most of the time we just left it on circulating internal air and opened up the side window here or the side door here. A lot of times we also just cracked the rear glass, but we had our ways of staying relatively cool. So as long as you weren't out in the middle of summer cooking in the heat, this right here is actually not bad. Uh, the price for the two-wheel drive version, again, let's go to the menu here and assess that up. 35,000 base cost, two-wheel drive, standard rear tires. Of course, with an 88 horsepower engine, of course, I run that up to the 3090, which is $8,500 more expensive, which makes it now a $43,500 base tractor for this particular model. And honestly, I still use this mid and late game uh, in my personal playthroughs. No, I do not. I sold off the four-wheel drive assist because the tractor with the four-wheel drive assist just, well, it was too expensive to keep around for what I was using it for. This was a lower maintenance cost, so I used it. And the reason I was able to keep it is because of the front end loader, which I will go over right now. The front end loaders. Now this is the smaller front end loader armatures. Now I want you to watch right here. When you pull in here, if you're doing realism, man, it matches up perfectly. That's exactly how it should match up. And that the top pin will hit that guide plate, and it'll slide right up into position in real life. Now watch it go. Bang. Oop, guess I should hit the right key. Bam. And that's exactly how it works in real life. But watch what happens in here whenever you go to disconnect. Those legs get caught up on the axle. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Let me show you that again. I'll zoom in on it. You can see right there the bucket gets hung up on the axle. 3, 2, 1, bam. Now, that is the correct size front end loader that you use with this tractor. Not gonna lie, fits in here great, looks great, especially whenever it's painted up to match. But you can't put any front end weights on it. Let's go over here to the other 3090 with the front wheel assist. Now this tractor here has 1,100 kilograms of front end weights on it. Now if you notice, that's too high. So this is for the medium-sized tractor or above. But whenever you hook up to it, it lowers itself down into position, and you don't get all that jerkiness. Not only that, though, you can keep the front end weights on there, and that crossbar in the lower front of the lift arm will actually reach around them. So it's really up to you which way you go with it. If you want to have one setup on your tractor and that just be it, and you want those weights on the front because you need the extra traction on the nose because you stuck with the front wheel assist, well then go with the $8,000 front end loader. It'll also get you a little bit more reach up and over. Let's see, this is the highest reach right here. Okay, let's go back over to the two-wheel drive tractor here. I'll pick the bucket up all the way here, and we'll back up to all things being equal. You get an extra 2 to 3 feet of lift, And if you're stacking bales, that might be important to you. If you're reaching up over the side of a trailer to dump feed in, that might be important to you. Point is, though, is that this tractor can handle both these armatures just fine. It handles them like a champ. Again, though, I kept the two-wheel drive 3090 for late game. It just works out a lot better that way, and I use this tractor to do spraying. Again, you don't need a lot of traction for that. I can use it for planting. You don't need a lot of traction for that. In fact, unless I'm running around with the front end loader on it, I get rid of the duals and just keep the narrow row crop tires on it. But I personally think it's a good buy for the money. Massey Ferguson 3000 series mod pack. It is free to download in the mod store. Yeah, and I don't think you can go wrong with it, especially whenever you can paint your uh, front end loader to match either Massey Ferguson red or jet black. It's it's a good deal. Anyway, that's my take on the Massey Ferguson 3000 series tractors uh, compared to the base model Fiat 1300. Goodbye. You should get this mod especially for early game during a realism playthrough. My name's been Pestolents. If you like what I do here, give me a like, or even better yet, give me a subscribe, and you'll receive more of these videos. Uh, also, did you ride around on one of these as a kid, or do you have one now on your farm? Let me know in the comments below what you think of this tractor. Till next time, I've been Pestilence, and we'll see you next time.